Thanks for getting in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. Man, it's time for Keys to the Game. We're coming to you from our studios as always. We got the keys to the football game against the New England Patriots, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Bill Belichick, this guy. You have to be ready for anything at any time. If you're Zac Taylor or any member of the offensive coaching staff, Bill Callahan, the coordinator, all the way down through, you need to have a handful of go-to plays that have a chance for success against many different looks you could get. There's no doubt about it. The later in the year that you play Bill Belichick, the more you have to prepare for. So paring it down to having a few go-to plays that can pay dividends for you against a myriad of looks that you may be exposed to is going to be massive. Recognition and communication is going to be a big, big deal, particularly dealing with the crowd noise in New England. Foxborough, man, that crowd is crazy. Recognition and communication within the offensive line, from one offensive lineman to another, from the quarterback to the offensive line, from the offensive line to the quarterback, from the quarterback to his skill players. Crowd noise complicates, magnifies the problem. You have to be on point with your unspoken words, your communication, hand signals, a nod, a wink, all that sort of thing. You have to be on point. You don't want to have a situation where, oh boy, well, I knew what to do. I just couldn't communicate to my teammates what they should do. Got to avoid that. Recognize, communicate against Bill Belichick is a big, big factor. Field position. This is going to be one big scenario as well. Long field for the Patriots, short field for the Bengals. Just like last week, the Bengals put Tampa Bay on long field after long field, and they had short field after short field because of takeaways, turnover-wise, and special teams play. Joe Burrow, man, give him some short fields. Give him half a football field to have to negotiate. When you look at it, in last week's game against Tampa Bay, I mean, they took advantage of, they ran 25 snaps for 91 yards and scored 24 points out of it, having short field after short field on those turnovers. That's ridiculous. Put Mac Jones on the long field, put Joe Burrow on the short field. Last week in Tampa Bay, their average drive start was their 22-yard line. The Bengals were the 48-yard line. That's a plus 26 average drive start advantage. You kidding me? That's quarter of a football field, I should say. That's 2.5 plus first downs. It's crazy. The Bengals had 12 possessions. You multiply 26 yards times 12 possessions, 312 hidden yards. That's the biggest number I've ever seen. I mean, if you have 100 yards, hidden yards differential, that is a massive advantage field position. I have never been part of 312 hidden yards. That is nuts. Cincinnati had 5 of their 12 possessions start in Tampa Bay territory. Almost half of their possessions started with a short field. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, 4 times they started inside the Bengals' 20-yard line, twice inside the 10-yard line, once inside the 5-yard line. They went long field. Bengals went short field over and over and over again in the second half. That is going to be a big, big key in this football game against the New England Patriots. Put the less experienced quarterback, Mac Jones, on a long field. He has to run more plays. There's a bigger chance to make a mistake. Put Joe Burrow in that short field, he'll score, and he'll score quickly like he did last week. 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. Protection, pressure, always a big factor. The Cincinnati Bengals in the 6-game winning streak, they've only allowed 8 sacks. They are protecting Joe Burrow. That is what it's going to take. The New England Patriots pressure the quarterback. 48 sacks, 3rd most in the National Football League. They're 3rd best at sack per pass attempt. They're a plus 15 sack ratio. In other words, they've got 48 sacks. They've only given up 33. Plus 15 is tied for 5th most in the NFL. Matt Judon has 14.5 sacks. Uche has 10.5 sacks. 14.5 is 2nd most in the National Football League. 10.5 is tied for 10th in the National Football League. They are the only tandem that has double-digit sacks in the National Football League, the only dynamic duo. Wise has 6.5 sacks, the only team in the National Football League that has 3 players with 6.5 or more sacks. Sam Hubbard, the leading Bengals sacker, has 6.5 sacks on the season. That puts it in perspective a little bit. Mac Jones has 7 touchdown passes, and he's thrown 8 interceptions. He only has 7 touchdown passes at this stage of the season. He has more interceptions than touchdown passes. Pressure him. Force him into bad decisions. The other thing, on third down and in the fourth quarter, Mac Jones has 2 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions. In the fourth quarter and on third down, Joe Burrow has 21 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions. Both of them have the same number of interceptions, but Joe Burrow has a few more touchdown passes. Pressure the quarterback. Protect your quarterback. Pressure their quarterback, particularly on third down, in the fourth quarter, and in the red zone. Let's talk about red zone. The Bengals offense, 50 times they've been in the red zone. That's tied for 6th most in the NFL. They've scored 34 touchdowns. That's 4th in the National Football League. 68% of the time they've scored a touchdown in the red zone. That's also 4th in the National Football League. The Patriots, they've been in the red zone 37 times, tied for 3rd fewest in the red zone. They've scored 14 red zone touchdowns, fewest in the National Football League. The Bengals have scored 20 more touchdowns in the red zone than the New England Patriots have. The Bengals defense, they've been in the red zone 45 times, have only allowed 24 touchdowns. That 53.3% touchdown ratio is tied for 10th in the NFL. The Bengals are 4th in the NFL offensively and tied for 10th in the NFL defensively in red zone touchdown percentage. Being in the top 10 in both categories, in the top 5 offensively, that dog will hunt. Let's talk about turnovers and penalties, 2 forms of self-destruction. The Bengals have 14 giveaways, tied for fewest in the National Football League. They are protecting the football. They are +5 in the turnover ratio right now, 5th best in the league. The Patriots have 22 takeaways. They are aggressive defensively. That's tied for 4th best in the National Football League. They are +3 in the turnover differential. That's tied for 10th best in the NFL. The Bengals are protecting the football. The Patriots are taking the football away at a very high level on both sides of it. Which one is going to occur on Saturday? That is going to be a big deal in this football game. The Bengals have to continue to protect the football. They got a turnover on 4 straight possessions against the GOAT. That's unheard of. What are they going to do with Mac Jones? We'll see. The Patriots, 14 touchdowns, tied for 2nd most in the NFL. 7 different players have an interception. 5 different players have 2 or more interceptions. So, again, that speaks to Belichick. All the sacks he's got disguising those pressure packages. All the interceptions, he is disguising coverages. Pressure, interceptions go hand in hand. You pressure the quarterback, take him to the ground. If you don't take him to the ground, you force turnovers. That's even more destructive. Self-destruction. Who will avoid it? Who's going to get it? Penalties. The Bengals been penalized 70 times, 4th fewest in the NFL, 526 penalty yards, 5th in the NFL, top 5 in both categories. They take great pride in that. They're not shooting themselves in the foot with penalty, and they're not giving the football away. That's why, another reason why, of the many reasons why, they've got 10 wins already and on a 6-game winning streak. The Patriots, uncharacteristically of a Bill Belichick team, 86 penalties for 700 yards. 86 penalties, tied for 22nd in the league. 700 yards, tied for 19th. The Patriots have self-destructed more than the Bengals have, but the Patriots are opportunistic defensively. Bengals have to protect the football. Let's talk about that opportunistic Patriots defensive football team. They have 6 return touchdowns, number 1 in the NFL. 5 of those are by defense. They have 3 pick sixes, 2 fumble recovery touchdowns. The other touchdown is an 84-yard punt return on special teams. 6 return touchdowns. They've only run for 12 touchdowns, thrown just 12 touchdown passes, and they've scored 6 non-offensive touchdowns. It's incredible. You have to be sound against this opportunistic defense and really, really sound in your special teams as well. Jones is a really, really good return guy. This guy is third in the National Football League in punt returns, 13.6 average. He's got that 84-yard touchdown that he's got on the board, and he's also averaging 24.9 yards per kickoff return, third best in the NFL, and he's got a long return of 46 yards. This kid Jones is a big return guy. He does have that one to the house, but 5 defensive touchdowns. Are you kidding me? So the Patriots have 6 return touchdowns. They've allowed 3. They've allowed 3 return touchdowns. So they're +3 in that category. The Bengals have no return touchdowns on the season. No defensive touchdowns, no special teams touchdowns. And they've allowed 2. So they're -2 on the year. Patriots +3. They've given up 3. They've got 6, though. The Bengals don't have any and have given up 2. Can't give the game away in that fashion. Non-offensive touchdowns. No go there. Patriots can't give many. It'd be nice to get your first on the season. You've given up 2. Why not get one against the Patriots? Be a great team to get one against. 2 things have to happen. Fast start and finish. The Bengals are 7-0 when they score first. They're 6-0 when they lead at the end of the first quarter. If the Bengals get on the board first, they are 7-0. Now, finish. Fast start, finish. The Patriots +49 in the third quarter. They make tremendous halftime adjustments. Bill Belichick is obviously noted for that, and he will adjust to your adjustments and then adjust once again. And that chess match will continue. The Bengals have outscored the opponent by 22 points in the third quarter and 48 points in the fourth quarter. 70-point margin in their favor in the second half. They are +70 in the second half. They finish. Lou Anarumo's defense has only given up 112 points in the second half. Bengals offensively have scored 182. 112 points allowed is in the top 5 in the National Football League. They make adjustments. They finish the game strong, particularly in the fourth quarter. Get off to the fast start, finish the game. Even if you're playing the legend, the best, the GOAT, played against Brady, the GOAT as a player, playing against Belichick, the GOAT as a coach. If you start fast, finish strong, maybe you can dehorn another GOAT. Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team. Opportunity knocking.